Hearing this, Yenner nodded, Suddenly, Tian Ni's mother said joyfully, "Our Shen family. Tian and I, have you finally decided to stay in the Tian Lan realm and not return to that damn Gu family?" Her father agreed, "Not going back is for the best. That brat could never truly care for you. He's cruel and ruthless. You treated him so well back then, yet he still acted heartlessly." Yenner chimed in, "That's right, sister. The Gu family may be a colossal force in the Nine Heavens realm, but they never truly cared about you. Why not stay here in our small Tian Lan realm instead?" Gu Tian and I smiled, "Father, mother, I've already said it, Gu Changa isn't like you think. It was all just a misunderstanding back then." Her mother said, "Tian and I, you need to be careful. Gu Changa only returned your Dao bone because he was forced to, just so he could." The dark-skinned holy maiden was surprised, "Oh. I never heard that Yenner had such a sister." Gu Tian and I crossed her arms and said coldly, "What? Do I need to report to you?" The holy maiden frowned, "This little girl speaks rather boldly. Do you not realize the gap between the Shen family and our Imperial Moon's sacred land? I advise you to think carefully before you bring trouble upon your family." Hearing this, Tian and I wasn't in a hurry to respond. At this moment, Sienna turned around and said, "Saintess Yaoyue, there's no need for this. I happen to want to meet him. Since you wish to see him as well, let's go together." Ignoring Tian and I, she clasped her hands and said, "Thank you, Miss Sienna." Tian and I thought to herself, "This person seems overly concerned, something's not right." In a certain courtyard, a young man was watering flowers while an elderly man stood beside him, saying, "Li Xiu, over the years, my Shen family has done a lot for you. We've never lacked spiritual medicines and longevity fruits to restore your spiritual sea. Our Shen family has treated you well. Li Xiu. Old man here is talking to you. Are you even listening?" The young man replied, "Second elder, there's no need to say more. When the time is right, I will naturally leave the Shen family. But not now. Besides, from the start, I never asked the Shen family to help me restore my spiritual sea. I already said not to waste resources, but you simply refused to believe me." The elder angrily pointed at him and said, "You brat, you're truly ungrateful. I see you're planning to freeload off the Shen family forever." Li Xiu, with the refined demeanor of a noble young master, said indifferently, "The mere Shen family is not enough. If you have anything to say, let Shen Sienna tell me herself." Sienna walked over just in time to hear this and sneered, quite the arrogant tone. The elder was shocked to see her. "Sienna." Sienna couldn't be bothered with pleasantries and said directly, "Li Xiu, I will not marry you. If you have any requests, just say them. Our Shen family will do our best to fulfill them." Beside her, Yaoyue was surprised, thinking, compared to the person in the portrait. Li Xiu replied, "Requests? Forget it, I don't need anything. If you want to annul the engagement, I just hope you won't regret it in the future." Sienna immediately responded, "I will never regret it." Li Xiu let out a cold snort. "You don't know what's good for you." The elder became even angrier. "You, how arrogant." Yaoyue broke into a cold sweat. "It really is him." Yaoyue stepped forward and respectfully cupped her hands. "Yaoyue Holy Lands Huang Yu greets Lord Zhan." The people around them were shocked. "What's this? What's going on?" Yaoyue continued, "My lord, these frogs in a well from the Shen family do not understand your esteemed status. You need not pay them any mind." Gu Tian and I thought to herself, "This person is indeed not simple." Yaoyue added, "My lord, why don't you return to Yaoyue Holy Land with me? Our great ancestor has been waiting for you." After saying this, she cast a cold glance at Shen Sienna and said, "Shen Sienna, if I were you, I would quickly apologize to my lord. Otherwise, you won't be able to bear the consequences." Xianer angrily retorted, you. Yao Yue concluded, the entire Shen family will regret this. The elder couldn't hold back his anger and shouted, insolence. Yao Yue, this is the Shen family, not your Yao Yue holy land. Tian and I stepped forward and said, with me here, let's see who dares to blame my sister. Xianer stood behind her and called out, sister. Yao Yue sneered, I know the Shen family has backing from the upper realm. Is that person you? But you must understand, there is always someone stronger, and there are powers beyond your comprehension. Gu Tian and I provocatively responded, indeed, there is always someone stronger. I'd like to see just how formidable this lord you speak of truly is. Though she said this, a faint worry crept into her heart. Damn it, could it be some ancient monster? Li Xiu said calmly, I never expected a day when I'd be looked down upon like this. But, this is quite amusing. At that moment it was as if question marks floated above his head, hinting that he was about to be dealt with by Gu Tian and I. Another elder sent a worried voice transmission, could he really be a hidden expert? The second elder waved his hand dismissively. Impossible. You think hidden experts are as common as cabbages on the roadside? Li Xiu then spoke, enough, frogs in a well who know nothing of the world. Let's go. Yao Yue respectfully replied, yes, Lord Zhan. She added, Shen Xianer, the Shen family gave you all a chance, yet you couldn't even handle this. Shen Xianer was furious. You. Suddenly, a pillar of light shot up from the ground into the sky. A Shen family elder exclaimed with joy, the ancestor. The ancestor has emerged from seclusion. Li Xiu remained expressionless and said, the current ancestor of the Shen family. Yao Yue speculated with self-indulgence, could it be that he sensed my lord's extraordinary nature and came out specifically to keep him here? The Shen family members were also astonished and whispered among themselves, didn't the ancestor just enter seclusion? Why is he suddenly emerging now? Something major must have happened. Suddenly, the Shen family's patriarch spoke, Shen Tianhe of the Shen family humbly welcomes the young master of the everlasting Gu clan. After saying this, beads of cold sweat appeared on his forehead, clearly showing his nervousness. The gate to the upper realm opened, and Gu Changge appeared with his subordinates. He looked down, surveying everything around him. The second elder was shocked. The Gu clan, he actually came in person. Li Xiu pondered to himself, the everlasting Gu clan, this could be troublesome. Yao Yu was also horrified. So he's their backer in the upper realm? Tian and I was unsurprised. As expected, it's him. Xianer asked, sister, he is. She replied, ah, it's Gu Changge. Gu Changge descended swiftly and asked directly, what's wrong? You don't look too happy to see me. Tian and I retorted, why are you here? He walked closer and suddenly pinched Tian Ni's cheek, leaving both sisters stunned. Tian and I angrily shouted, you, what are you doing? Gu Changge smirked. You've been gone too long. I almost thought you got yourself killed. But seeing you alive and well, I can rest easy. This is how you show concern. Tian and I snapped and tried to kick him, but he effortlessly dodged. Gu Changge said, the upper realm is at war with the 8 desolate 10 domains, and the Tianlan realm is at the forefront. I'm worried about you. After saying that, he casually placed a hand on her shoulder and smiled. Why are you so mad? Who made my Tian and I unhappy? Tian and I angrily pushed him away. Let go of me. Who's your Tian and I? Xianer, watching from the side, thought to herself, did they really have some deep-seated grudge before? At that moment, Gu Changge dropped his smile and asked seriously, all right, now tell me, what happened? Tian and I looked toward Li Xiu and his group. Then pointed at Yao Yu and said, it's just that the saintess of Yao Yu Holy Land claimed that Xianer isn't worthy of Li Xiu, called us blind frogs. At this moment, Yao Yue hesitated and stammered as she spoke to Li Xiu, my lord, Li Xiu understood her meaning and said, "Fellow Taoist, why be like this?" Just now, Yao Yue merely misspoke in a moment of agitation. To start a war over such a trivial matter seems truly unworthy to me. Upon hearing this, an elder immediately jumped out and berated him angrily, "Insolence! You're just a worthless live-in son-in-law, yet you dare to speak to young Master Chang'e in such a tone. Do you really think you're someone important?" Standing to the side, young Master Gu thought to himself, "This old geezer is really overdoing his flattery." Then he spoke up and retorted, "Oh. Are you trying to stand up for the Royal Moon Holy Land? Or are you the so-called 'there's always someone stronger' that she spoke of?" Li Xiu remained calm and said indifferently, "Fellow Taoist, one should be broad-minded. No one can guarantee that what they see is truly the highest sky, rather than just the bottom of a well. As for today's matter, I ask you to let Yao Yue go for my sake." Gu Chang'e was about to say, but before he could finish, the elder jumped in again, cutting him off and scolding angrily, "Who do you think you are? You expect young Master Chang'e to give you face? You must have a death wish." Seeing the elder snatch the conversation away, Gu Chang'e was momentarily speechless. The second elder could no longer hold back and charged forward, lightning surging in his hand as he prepared to strike. "Today, let me teach you a lesson on behalf of young Master Chang'e." Seeing this, Yao Yue hurriedly warned, "My lord, be careful. He is at the great saint realm." Li Xiu merely raised his hand and said calmly, "If I were you, I wouldn't attack me." As the elder's strike came at him, Li Xiu casually waved his hand, seemingly chanting some kind of incantation, and instantly set up a rune barrier. The elder was immediately shocked. What? Wasn't his spiritual sea already shattered? In the next moment, the two attacks collided, causing a massive explosion that soared into the sky. The elder was directly blasted away by the force, landing sprawled out on the ground, screaming in pain, "Ag! Ag!" Seeing this, Sienna cried out in alarm, "Second grandfather!" The elder was sent flying toward Gu Chang'e's position, but Gu Chang'e merely tilted his body slightly, watching coldly. As a result, the elder crashed hard onto the ground. Gu Chang'e even pretended to be concerned and asked, "Elder, are you all right?" Gu Tianmi was astonished. He actually blocked the second elder's attack so easily. Sienna was also shocked. But second grandfather is in the great saint realm. The runic light shot into the sky, and the Shen family's patriarch couldn't help but sigh, runes piercing the heavens. It seems he's not someone our Shen family can afford to provoke. Unfortunately, he's crossed paths with the Gu family. In a hidden location, two observers burst into laughter. Ha ha ha. Both of them were one-eyed men. One of them said, "I knew it. How could my lord have perished in that battle? Pass my order, every elder of the heavenly saint sect is to follow me in welcoming my lord's return." Elsewhere, in a different location, two women were entangled on a bed when they suddenly noticed the light. They instantly reacted. "This aura. No doubt, it's him. Quickly, get dressed. Our 100 Lilies sect must not fall behind the other factions." Thunder rumbled across the sky, dark clouds rolling in. At the Royal Moon Holy Land, a massive bolt of lightning struck down, accompanied by a solemn voice, "By order of the young master, I have come to annihilate the Royal Moon Holy Land." Countless cultivators gathered, watching in shock. What's happening at the Royal Moon Holy Land? It looks like it's about to be destroyed. They must have provoked someone they shouldn't have. Sigh, it's best to stay low-key in life. These powerhouses are way too ruthless these days. Seeing this, Li Xiu sighed. Young people shouldn't be so arrogant. I was once like you, sharp and unyielding. But being too rigid often leads to breaking. Moreover, both sides are at fault in this matter, so why must you be so aggressive? Gu Chang'e smiled faintly and countered, "Oh. Both sides are at fault." He pointed at Sienna and said, she has the blood of my Gu family flowing in her veins. She is my sister. And how could the sister of Gu Chang'e ever be in the wrong? Upon hearing this, Xian'er's eyes widened in shock. Listening to Gu Chang'e's blatant sophistry, Li Xiu fell silent for a moment before finally sighing. What an unreasonable young master of the Gu family. Gu Chang'e didn't care at all and casually said, then. But before he could finish, the second elder, who hadn't suffered enough just now, jumped out again, pointing at him and angrily rebuking, insolence. How dare you call the young lord by name? You should address him as, Master Young Lord. Seeing how ridiculously eager the old man was to curry favor, Gu Chang'e was speechless. But the old man was unfazed and continued, a mere live-in son-in-law isn't worth the young lord personally taking action. I alone can suppress him. Hearing this, Gu Chang'e casually waved his hand and said, that's not necessarily true. The old man immediately realized he had spoken too boldly but still forced himself to answer, yes. Without another word, the old man charged forward like a madman, laughing wildly, ha ha ha. Tian'er and Xian'er frowned. It looked like the old man was about to get beaten like a dog. Sure enough, he was knocked back just as quickly as he had charged in, sent flying with blood spurting from his mouth. Li Xiu had struck effortlessly, his expression still calm as if he had just casually flicked his hand. He said indifferently, overestimating yourself. You brought this upon yourself. Seeing him attack a second time, Tian'er was still shocked. What kind of secret technique is this? Xian'er speculated beside her, maybe it's not a secret technique but a rune I once read about in the ancient texts of the Sky Blue realm. The ancestor of the Shen family also recognized it. That's, the long-lost battle rune. A unique technique that merges battle intent with heaven and earth. There was once an invincible powerhouse who swept through the 8 desolations and 10 domains, he was the wielder of the battle rune. But after he perished, the rune was lost as well. Such composure. Could he be that legendary figure? On the other side, Gu Chang'e took out a blood-colored pill. He casually tossed it to the old man who had been beaten to a pulp. The old man caught it and immediately recognized it. 9-turn Great Rejuvenation Pill. Thank you, young lord. I was incompetent and embarrassed you. Gu Chang'e said indifferently, it's not your fault. Even if you broke through to the quasi-supreme realm, you wouldn't be able to counter his techniques. Hearing this, Li Xiu couldn't help but say, as expected of a Gu family descendant, your insight is impressive. But your style seems a bit demonic. Gu Chang'e remained indifferent and said lightly, looks like I'll have to make a move myself. Just then, a group of powerful figures suddenly appeared in the distance. A one-eyed elder laughed loudly, ha ha ha. How dare the Shen family trouble our lord? You don't deserve to exist. Someone beside him chimed in, our lord marrying into your family. Are you even worthy? And now you dare to annul the engagement. Seeing these people charge in, the Shen family ancestors' expression changed drastically. Heavenly Blade Sacred Sect, 100 Lotus Heavenly Sect, by Family Patriarch, you all dare trespass into my Shen family. The one-eyed elder and the others instantly realized the gravity of the situation and shouted in unison, we're doomed. Without hesitation, Brother Gu slashed at the group of one-eyed men and said to them, as expected, just a rabble. With a single strike, he easily sent them all to the underworld. Soon, the only thing left in the sky was the lingering trace of his blade's energy, no sign of the figures remained. Just moments ago, Demon Moon had been ecstatic, but now she was utterly horrified, her mouth agape, unable to utter a word. Brother Gu wiped out his enemies with one slash and said indifferently, came in a hurry, left just as quickly. Yanni was stunned. Thinking, they all got wiped out with one strike. Meanwhile, Xian'er remarked, it seems he has grown even stronger. Li Tu began to feel fear and hurriedly said, young Master Gu, let's just consider today's matter. Before he could finish his sentence, Gu Chang'e had already charged forward, swinging his 80-centimeter long blade. Li Tu was caught off guard and hastily activated a rune shield, but it cracked almost instantly.